Welcome back. My name is Pastor Nolan. I am an attorney licensed in the state of Missouri. This is Pat Talks Law. Well, got some good news for everybody. If you are not aware that dispensaries are now selling medical marijuana, then you're living under a rock somewhere. And if you are not aware that the same dispensaries are getting on average $60 an eighth, then you're probably also living under the same rock. And most likely you are gasping in shock. I'm not. Frankly, the price of the medical marijuana is cheaper than I was expecting it to be. The fact of the matter is that you have an extremely limited supply, extremely limited distribution. There are only a few dispensaries open now. And you have a massive demand. I understand there's a lot of you are saying, dude, cultivate your own. Pay the $100, get the cultivation card. You have to be a mental midget to be able to screw up growing marijuana. I mean, it grows like a weed. So, here's the deal. Your medical marijuana has... Let me rephrase that. Growing your own medical marijuana simply requires your cultivation permit, a little bit of time, a little bit of expense, and a learning curve. Okay? However, purchasing it from a dispensary is going to be easier, hassle-free, and you know what you're getting. You know your THC content is going to be pretty much solid on the line of what the testing numbers say. And you can judge how much you're getting, how much you're taking at a time, and you can protect yourself and plan your usage. And that's fine. It's up to you what you're going to do there. Some people are complaining about the price. I think the price stays high until the people are. The price will come down when we have more cultivation facilities online and producing marijuana. The price will come down when we have dispensaries with product on the shelves that they need to sell. Until then, the price is going to stay high because it can. Somebody is going to pay it. Now, that said, let's move on to the next extremely important topic that you need to pay attention to. Okay, the rules, the regulations have a requirement that if you've purchased your medical marijuana from the dispensary, you have to keep the package with it. Okay? Don't be transferring your eighth or your ounce of diverse eighths, as some people were purchasing, sampler packs, into other containers. You got to keep it with the original packaging. If you put it in a plastic baggie of your own, you keep the original packaging with it. Either in another plastic baggie and package it all into a third, doesn't matter. You keep that original packaging, and you keep a copy of your card with it. Print out a hard copy of your card, put it in a plastic baggie, and put it in with your medical marijuana. That is how you will protect yourself from the coming accusation, well, you didn't get this from a dispensary. You got to be smart. Head off the challenge. It's coming. For those of you that grow your own, you know, or you're purchasing it on the black or gray markets, those of you know that what you're going to be facing is the opposite. You're going to be facing police officers saying, well, you didn't get this from a dispensary, so it's not legal medical marijuana. Now, we know the ruling from DHSS, the letter that our directors provided, says differently. We know that the Constitution says differently. However, that case has not been up to the Court of Appeals yet, so we don't know how the Court of Appeals is going to rule. Okay? If you're growing your own, keep a copy of your cultivation card with any medical marijuana that you have with you. And for the love of God, don't walk around with a pound of medical marijuana. Or don't walk around with 12 ounces and say, hey, it's my 90-day supply. You don't need it with you on the street. You're begging for trouble. So keep your card, your patient card, your cultivation card with your product that you have with you and where you store it. If you're going to go out onto the street, make sure you have your patient card, your cultivation card on you and with the medical marijuana that you may have with you. Okay? You can't be too careful with having copies of these, of your permits. Okay? Have an extra one for the officer to take with him. Make it easy. The easier it is for the police officer, the better it's going to go for you. So when you're doing that, you need to also step back and think, well, where are going to be the points of contention? If I live in the town where I'm stopped, are they going to then come and want to inspect my facility or go through my house? Again, we have the question, can local law enforcement inspect your grow facility? We don't know how the court's going to rule on that. At the moment, the answer is no. There can be no unauthorized people in your grow facility. And DHSS authorization is you and a DHSS inspector. So the answer, until we have clarification on that, has to be they're going to need a warrant. Is that going to cause problems for some people? Yes, it will. There are some municipalities that are going to attempt to inspect everybody's home grow. Now, just because you have medical marijuana on you does not mean that it's illegal if it didn't come from a dispensary. However, again, we don't have a court ruling to that effect yet, which means you are in the gray area. This is not where you want to be, in the gray area. The other alternative is if, for example, you have gray market or black market medical marijuana on you, and you are stopped, and the officer says, well, you didn't get that from the dispensary, or it's not in the dispensary package, so I'm citing you. Then you have to defend yourself, and you're going to be arguing that, no, it didn't come from the dispensary, but that's not required. I know that there's someone out there, and I would never advise anybody to do this, but I know there's some smart guy out there that went out and bought an eighth at the dispensary and just transfers a little bit of his homegrown into that package and keeps it under an eighth. Under an eighth. A little bit of his homegrown as needed, and has a package of legal medical marijuana. I know there's somebody that's doing that, and I have to tell you that you could be running afoul of a forgery charge for representing your non-branded medical marijuana as that medical marijuana. So you probably shouldn't do that, and you certainly shouldn't ever tell anyone that you did that if you do it, because that would be wrong. Lawyers think of things that can go wrong. We think of it, and we hope like hell that it doesn't happen. If you are having a problem with your medical marijuana, you need to make sure you talk to somebody. Talk to your doctor if it's a medical problem. Talk to your shrink if it's a psychological problem. Talk to your dealer if it's a product quality problem. Talk to your attorney if it's a law enforcement or a regulation problem. Okay? But you don't have to suffer in silence. Now, when I say your dealer, I'm not saying the street hood that you used to buy dime bags from. Of course, we're talking about the dispensary. Okay? If you have an issue with quality, talk to the people who sold it to you, like you would with any other product. As for prices, I expect they're going to come down as we have more on the market. As more cultivation facilities are spun up and producing product, we will see greater availability. As more dispensaries open, we will see greater availability. With greater availability, you will see a reduction in prices. It has been a long day, and I have to go paint a painting with my kids. So, please hit like, subscribe, and I will not subject you to that part. And we'll be talking again about this real soon. For those of you that scored some legal product, congratulations. Save your packaging. Remember, where you store your medical marijuana, you should also have a copy of your card. If you're a cultivator, you should have a copy of your cultivation card. Okay? Make it as easy as possible to identify yourself as legal. Thanks. We'll be talking to you again soon. And none of this is legal advice. Okay? This is information. I'm just sharing with the world. These are my thoughts. If you have a legal issue, you have a legal question, contact an attorney. Since this is Missouri, I assume you're going to contact a Missouri attorney and ask your specific question of a Missouri attorney. Thank you. We'll be talking again soon.